Hello lovelies, we are here again aboard the Disney Wonder going into Alaska, and today is Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. We are so excited, and today is Glacier Day, so we are really looking forward to getting to see some beautiful glaciers, really getting into Alaska and getting to see some of just the beautiful sights here. We went ahead and set our clocks an hour before because we are moving into a different time zone, getting closer to Alaska, and we just are so excited and can't wait to see everything that today has to offer, getting to see all the characters in their beautiful Alaskan gear, and then getting to see the Alaskans, just nature behind them. It's going to be so beautiful, and we're so excited. But today, as I'm getting ready for Glacier Day, I'm going to be talking a little bit about yesterday, which was our day at sea, and then our formal night, and so I can't wait just to share some of that with you. We'll be popping up some pictures and some videos as I'm getting ready and just sharing some stories from our day yesterday. So come along with me and let's make up the rules. Yesterday was such a full day aboard the Disney Wonder. We had such a good time getting to just experience the ship, really getting to explore and getting to see all the different things that the ship has to offer. And they had a really full schedule yesterday as we were going around. They had so many different activities, and they really kind of jam-packed the morning yesterday, and then things kind of slowed down a little bit more kind of mid-afternoon, and then in the evening it really picked up again with the formal night. And so we really had just such a good time getting to just go around and getting to explore and getting to just kind of learn more about the ship, getting to meet some new people, and just getting to do some fun activities. So yesterday, the first thing that we did was we went to eat breakfast. We went over to Triton's, and it is one of the nicer of the three sit-down rotational dining restaurants here on the ship, and it is absolutely gorgeous in that restaurant. That was where we had dinner on night one, and then we had breakfast yesterday. And so they have just a lot of options listed on the menu, and then you can just kind of pick and choose what all you want. And so I decided to get a parfait that had a lot of tropical fruits in it. It had some pineapple, mango, passion fruit, those kinds of things. I will say that was not my favorite. The yogurt in that parfait was very unsugared. It was very plain, and so it was very plain along with kind of the tangy fruits. I did not really enjoy that personally, but then we were able to order some eggs. I got some Belgian waffle, and then also ended up getting some sausage links that were really good. And then my mom and my husband both ordered hash browns, and I don't know why I wasn't thinking what kind of hash browns they were, but they are those little just kind of fried triangles. And as soon as they got them, I said, oh man, I should have gotten that. So I went ahead and ordered that also, and it was so good. They brought it out. It was nice and hot, nice and fresh, and was absolutely delicious. And so we really enjoyed our breakfast yesterday. My husband got the French toast and kind of shared some of that with me, and it was really good. I do think I liked the waffle just a little bit better. It was no Mickey waffle, it was just a Belgian waffle, but it was really good, and we really enjoyed getting to have that breakfast together. And then after breakfast, we really just kind of jumped into a lot of activities and a lot of just things aboard the ship, and just kind of going around and getting to do all the different things that were on the Navigator app. One of the first things that my husband and I did was we saw that Moana was out, and we could go take pictures with her. And I personally feel like she's a pretty rare character. We not the most rare, of course, but we have not really seen her anywhere. I know they did kind of just recently add sort of a Moana section in Epcot, and I think the last time we went to Disney World, that section was under construction, and so we have not really been there too much while that was there, and I don't think Moana was there when we went, so we were really excited to see that she was on board the ship. And she had a really cute backdrop, looked like the ocean with her boat on it, and then she of course just was beautiful with her costume and everything. So it was fun to get to see her. We did see a lot of characters throughout the day, and especially going into formal night, we were really excited to get to see Mickey and the gang in their formal attire, but of course that was much later in the day before we did that. And so we ended up going to a lot of different activities. I'm trying to even remember, we did so many different things and bounced around so much. But I do know we did we started a cooking class, and that one they were making lobster ravioli. And so they had a chef from the ship come, and he had a little table out, and he did a demonstration on that table on the stove there in front of you, and showed how to create the lobster ravioli. And then they did do a sampling with it, and then they did they provided a little recipe card. So that was really cool. But I do think that was actually at the same time when we went to see Moana. So my parents finished the cooking class, and then my husband and I went to see Moana, and unfortunately that line was kind of long. Moana was very chatty, and so it took a little while to get through the line. And so because she was just talking to all the families as they came through. But eventually we were able to get through that, and then my parents had finished up the cooking class by then. But we really enjoyed getting to at least start it and get to see a little bit of it. I thought it was really cool that they have one of their actual chefs there, and getting to really teach you how to create a Disney dish. So I do think they said that lobster ravioli is going to be in the dining rooms and on the menu tonight for the Frozen night and the Frozen menu that they're going to have in all of the restaurants. So I thought that was cool that they kind of show you how to make a dish that is coming up, so you can sample it, see if you liked it, and then decide if you wanted to have that in the restaurant. I'm assuming it's probably pretty good in the actual restaurants and on the menu. My parents did say when they sampled it that it was a little bit on the bland side, so they were a little disappointed with it. But like I said, my husband and I unfortunately didn't get to stay in there and get to try it, so I'm not sure. But we still had a good time doing that. And then my dad, my husband, and I decided to go on a ship tour. And so we went and met with our guide up on deck 10, which is the top deck. And then just kind of as we went through the tour, made our way down the different flights of the ship. And we got to go and just see a lot of the different just kind of details. The topic of the tour was the theme of storytelling. And so they really just kind of dove into why all of the carpets have what they have, why certain paintings are on the wall, why things are kind of designed the way that they are in the ship, so that it really tells a story that is very cohesive throughout the entire ship. And so it was incredibly interesting just to really get to kind of hear the history behind some of the ship, getting to really understand why there were intentional decisions to place certain artwork in certain areas, like the Buena Vista Theater where they show the movies. We walked by there, and a lot of the artwork, he said, kind of represent what is worn in Mary Poppins, but it also kind of has sort of a 1920s flair to it, so that it represents the kind of movie theater era and things like the Chinese theater. So it kind of is a callback to that. So it was just really cool to hear just the intentionality behind all the things on the ship. One thing that we did end up learning was in the atrium, the main kind of lobby area on the ship, the statue that is in there is of Ariel, and she's really pretty. She's got her fin, and she's sitting on just kind of a little kind of pedestal. And as you look at her, her hair is kind of spiraling up. And so our tour guide said, okay, so when you look at her, what is she missing? And she is missing the little flower that she wears in her hair that kind of keeps her hair down and pinned down. And so he said, we actually do have that flower in the atrium, and that is what the chandelier on the ceiling is. He did say that they used to have a big chandelier that was a conch shell, and that it was hanging down up there, but they said that it was just really difficult to keep clean and to maintain. And so they ended up trading it out for this beautiful red kind of, it almost looks like blown glass, kind of a sculpture on the ceiling for the flower. So it's really pretty, and I thought that was cool because my family actually had noticed the flower, and we were trying to figure out kind of what it was and why it was selected, if it was really related to Disney or they just, kind of thought it was pretty. But it was really cool to hear kind of the intentionality behind that and why they chose that. Another part of that ship tour that we got to do was they were having open house in the Oceaneer Club, which is the kids area, and that is of course typically blocked off for security reasons for the kids that are in there. So it was really cool. They had open house while we were on a tour, so we had a tour guide take us in there and get to show us a little bit of the kids area and kind of the design behind that. And it is really cute. The main area in there looks like Andy's room from Toy Story, so it's got all his toys in there. And there were a couple of really cool kind of Easter eggs there. In there was a kind of a little game console up on the wall, and the score on it was 1995, which was the release year for the original movie, the first Toy Story. And then also on the wall there were some playing cards that had Woody and Jessie and Bullseye, and the order that they're in on the wall was 2, 3, and 4. Those were the card numbers, and he said that that was an Easter egg also to the original movie at the end when Andy and his family are moving, and they moved to, I believe it was 234 Elm Street, and so that was just their kind of street address. And so it's just so cute. It's so well designed. He said that because they are really trying to tell a story, that they really have a storybook theme in there. And so we only snapped a picture with the little Toy Story book that was in there. But they had a lot of different books in the children's area that really just kind of represent the different stories. They did have another section that looked like the little store from Frozen, the little woohoo, big summer blowout. And so that was really cute and was just really fun for the kids to get to play in there. And there were only a few kids when we went through, and they were all playing. They had some hula hoops in the big area, and they were just really enjoying themselves. So it was such a cute area. It was really cool to be able to step in there. Of course, that's not something you are able to do very often just because of the security reasons. So we felt really excited just to be able to go in there and just be able to check it out. And so after the tour, after we had seen a couple of characters, we started just kind of going around and doing some different activities on the ship. One of the things that we did, my husband and I are really big Emperor's New Groove fans, and they had an Emperor's New Groove game show on the ship yesterday. And so I don't know why, for some reason in my head I was thinking it was going to be a trivia, but when we went, it was a game show. And so they kind of split the room into two sections. They had a team Yzma, which was the team we were on, and then a team Kronk. And so as they went through the game show, they would ask a volunteer from each side of the room, each team, to go up and play some activities. As they would do the activities, they would be able to ask their teammates and be able to ask the kind of the audience that was there what they thought, so that everyone could kind of collaborate in our responses. So the first game that they played was about it was called Order Up, and so they listed up on the screen, they had a lot of different kind of funny names for different meals, and just like Kronk in the movie kind of gets thrown into being the chef at the restaurant, we had to kind of come up with what the interpretation was of those funny names. And so something like trying to think what even they were. Some of them were pretty funny, but the one I really remember was BLT. Everybody kind of thought it was something funny, like, beets and llama or something like that, but it really was just bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. So that one was pretty funny. But they had some other ones. I know the answer on one of them was onion log, which is from the movie. I can't remember what the funny name for it was, but that was a really cute game. And then they did another game that was called Just Squeaking By, and that one was kind of a charades type game. And so they had one volunteer from each group go up, and they had funny little hats. They had an Yzma, kind of a long purple hat that our team had to wear, and our teammate had to wear. And then they had Kronk's hat, just kind of a little gold kind of circular hat that he wore. And so they put those on, and then it was kind of like heads up, almost a game heads up. They had little cards that they would show to the team members that were playing, and they had to act out or, you know, kind of do charades for whatever the activity was, and then, or the prompt was. And then our team had to yell out the answers and guess it. And so that was really fun. It was very quick, and it was only in a minute that they had to be able to act those out. And I think on that one, there was a tie between the two teams. I think both got 6, and so it was 60 points. But that one was really cute. And then the last activity that they had was a kind of potion bottle stacking game. And so they had the little potion bottles from the movie. They were just plastic potion bottles, and they had all of them in a little container. And so they had the 2 participants from each team go up, and they were required to put the bottles into a pyramid to stack them up and then unstack them, and whoever could do both of those things first was going to win that activity. And they of course said, you know, there's some kind of rules to this, so they had to do 1 bottle at a time, and then they weren't able to use their thumbs because they had little kind of mittens that they put on that looked like llama feet. And so they had to just kind of pick the items up like this and stack them. And so that definitely made it very challenging, especially when they were trying to do it quickly. But it was really funny and cute. And then after the game, my husband and I did grab a couple of those little bottles and held them up and took the picture, and they were so cute. We ended up finding one that was a bat, and that of course is my favorite, one of my favorite animals. And then my husband found the llama, so he wanted to hold that one to reference the movie. And so it was just such a cute activity. Unfortunately, Team Yzma did not win, but Team Kronk did a great job. And so it was just such a fun little activity that we did. And so we really enjoyed doing that. And then we also did some other just activities in a lot of the lounges throughout the day. One of the other things that we did was a music trivia, a Disney Tunes trivia, and that one was really fun. It was very challenging. We had the piano player that's on the ship throughout the week come, and he was playing different Disney tunes, but very short selections, only by piano. And also they were really not the chorus part of these songs. They were very kind of obscure, sort of difficult to interpret sections of the song. So that was a very, very challenging activity. We really struggled with that one. They ended up letting you choose the name of the song and also the movie that it came from. So there were 15 different song selections, but you could get 2 points per question, 1 for the movie and 1 for the name of the song. And so by the time that we got done, we had 18 out of 30, which wasn't too bad. But like I said, that was a very, very challenging activity. But the group that won, they had 27 out of 30. So they really knew their Disney tunes, and they did a really good job. But that was fun. That was definitely very, very tricky and really hard to, you know, when you don't have all the kind of background instruments to really pick out what the song is just from a little bit of piano music. So that one was very, very challenging. And then we also did a napkin folding class, and that was really fun. We had 3 different designs that we were able to create. We had a candlestick. We had what they called a corn, or they said it even kind of looks like a banana, and that one was really cute. And then one of the ones that we have seen a couple of times in the restaurants on board is the tuxedo. And so we got to learn how to fold that and how to create it. They did have, as you were leaving, little cards that had the instructions for folding the napkins that we made in the class, as well as some other instructions. I did not pick one of those up. I just kind of felt like it was an extra piece of paper that I probably wasn't ever going to actually use, so I decided not to grab one. But I still thought just the class itself was really cute and really fun, and we definitely enjoyed getting to do that. It was a little bit challenging, especially kind of as they went. They got a little bit more challenging getting down to the tuxedo. It was a few more steps to it. than the other ones, and it was just a little bit more kind of finesse to it. But it was really cute just to be able to create those. And of course they made a joke at the end that now that we were trained, we could help the dining room staff fold more of the tuxedos for the dining room, which I'm sure they probably need help with that because they create so many of those every day. But we really enjoy getting to see those in the dining room, and we just think they do such a good job. They are so beautiful, and it's just an extra little touch to that Disney magic and just that storytelling that they love to include. And so the napkin folding class was really fun and really cute. We definitely enjoyed getting to do that. And then I'm trying to think what else. I know we did one activity over in the Azure Lounge, and it was an 18+ activity. It was a craft that they were doing, and no kids were allowed in there. It was only for adults. But it was a really cute activity where we were able to pick up a piece of paper that had different shapes on it, and then we could they had little kind of kid safety scissors that we were able to grab, glue sticks, and then magnets that you could put on the back. And so each one of the 4 pieces of paper that they had, the designs that they had, represented a Disney villain. So the ones that they had yesterday, they had Ursula from The Little Mermaid, they had Hades from Hercules, they had Dr. Facilier from The Princess and the Frog, and the other one was Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove. And so you could grab the little piece of the paper, and my husband and I have a Disney themed kitchen in our house, and so we wanted to get one of all 4 of them. So my husband grabbed 2 and I grabbed 2, and we went over and found a spot to sit, and we used the scissors and were able to cut out all the little shapes, and some of them were a little bit challenging. They were very, very small, so you had to be really careful as you were cutting them out. But we cut out the little shapes, and then with the glue sticks you were able to kind of set things in layers onto the little circles, and it created a Mickey head that looked like that character. And so they were really cute, and we were really proud of how they turned out. And then once you had put your entire kind of Mickey heads together for the different villain, you were able to put the magnet on the back, and they created really cute magnets. So we ended up bringing them back into our stateroom, and we have them on the outside of our bathroom door in here. We thought about putting them on the outside in the hallway, but I just didn't want anybody to snag them when they walked by. So we went ahead and just put them in our stateroom so they were nice and safe and we could see them while we were here. And then when we go home, we were planning to put those on our fridge in our kitchen. So we're really excited to have a few more fridge magnets, and we're just really happy with how those turned out. We thought they were super cute. That was a really fun craft. So we were really glad that we were able to make it over to the Azure Lounge to participate in that. I didn't feel like the weather yesterday was really bad, but it was definitely a little bit choppier on the waters than we were expecting. We definitely felt like we kind of from when we got up until we went to bed, and even a little bit more this morning, as you were just kind of, especially standing, but even sitting, things were just kind of moving back and forth. So there were a couple of times yesterday that we were not feeling very well. It kind of turns your stomach a little bit and kind of turns your just your head, just kind of makes you feel just a little bit lightheaded. And so once we kind of had done some activities yesterday, we decided to grab some lunch and just kind of see if that would help us all just kind of feel a little bit better from that. And so for lunch yesterday, we decided instead of spending so much time in the dining room and just kind of going through that full kind of 4-course meal service, and also because we had already eaten breakfast and then we were also eating dinner pretty soon, and so we just didn't want to kind of overdo it on all the food. We decided to go up to the top deck of the ship and go to some of the different restaurants that they have around the pool deck. And so we went to Pete's Boiler Bites, and we got some chicken strips, we got a burger, and then my dad also got some bratwurst and then we got some fries. And then my husband and I, while my parents were picking that up, we went over to Pinocchio's Pizza, and we got a few different slices of pizza. We got some pepperoni, some margarita, and some cheese. And then we also popped over to Daisy's Delights and got some fruit. They had some watermelon, some, I think it's honeydew, the green one, and then some cantaloupe and some pineapple, and just picked up some of that and really enjoyed getting to try just kind of a little smorgasbord of them thing. I also did pick up at Daisy's Delight a little sandwich that they had that was a just kind of a grilled chicken with mozzarella and tomato kind of sandwich, and it was pretty good. She did offer to toast it, but I was just kind of trying to hurry, and so went ahead and just kind of grabbed that, and it was a little bit cold, so I would definitely recommend if you get sandwiches there to let them toast them for you. But the sandwich itself tasted really good and was just a little bit lighter than some of the other things that we had picked up that day for lunch. But we really enjoyed our lunch. We just kind of split everything. We just, between the pizza and the burgers and the chicken, we just kind of, each took a little bit of what we wanted. And then that was really good. That way we didn't have too much food and we could just kind of graze and kind of eat what we wanted. So we just kind of sat at a table in the kind of just in the sun on the pool deck. It was pretty chilly yesterday. It was very windy. I know there was one point where we were standing in line to see Mickey, and as we were standing there, we were actually so far back that we went around the railing a couple of times and ended up standing right in front of some doors that went out onto the deck. And one of the doors to the outside, the little sliding door, ended up getting stuck open, and so the wind was blowing through. It was so strong. It was just blowing in, and everybody there was pretty much almost getting knocked over. It was so strong, and several people went and tried to close the door, but it was not budging. It was gonna just stay open, and so they finally kind of got it closed enough that it wasn't too bad, but we felt really bad that a lot of the employees on the ship were walking around with trays of complimentary drinks, and they had several drinks per tray. They probably had 8 to 10, and when they would kind of stroll past that door, it would almost knock them over with their tray of drinks. It was really, really strong, and so it was very, very windy up here in the Alaska area, and so we definitely saw that yesterday. And so like I said, when we were having lunch, we wanted to sit in the sun because it was definitely a little bit chilly yesterday, which we really are enjoying the cooler weather. It's really nice, but you definitely need to make sure that you've got your jackets and your layers and sit in the sun because it can get very, very cold in the wind. And of course the ship is moving at a decent speed, and so the wind can get pretty strong. So we really just enjoyed our entire day at sea yesterday. It was just so much fun. And then after we had kind of completed lunch and all our activities and everything, my husband and I came back to our cabin and got ready for formal night. So we just kind of came in and freshened up and changed our clothes, and I was so excited. I ordered a new dress off of Amazon for the formal night. My husband got a new tie to go with his jacket and his pants that matched my dress, and so we really liked his tie. It kind of has a little bit of sort of a Moisturizing look to it with the purple and the spots and everything. So we were just so excited for formal night, and we waited in a couple of pretty long lines. Mickey was one of them, and then Minnie and Goofy, and then we also saw Pluto earlier in the day, but they all had their formal attire. Pluto had his velvet collar on, and then Minnie had her beautiful white ball gown, and then Mickey and Goofy both had their tuxedos on, so they were looking real snazzy and ready for formal night. And so it was just so much fun to get to go and see them while we were also dressed up formally. And they of course had some beautiful backdrops on the ship in the atrium. We were able to go and get some really pretty pictures with the Ariel statue in the atrium, that kind of main centerpiece. And then we also were able to get a couple of different backdrops. They had just kind of a beautiful, just kind of bokeh backdrop that you could stand in front of that was just really pretty and classy. They had one that looked like the Northern Lights that was very beautiful. It was nice and blue and green. And then they had one that looked like the Disney Wonder or one of the Disney ships at night out at sea that you could just kind of stand in front of, and it just had a beautiful elegance to it. So we really liked the backdrops that they had and being able to get some really pretty pictures out there. They also did have a couple of different backdrops on kind of a little balcony above the atrium. You were able to just kind of stand up there, and one time we passed by, they had a little life raft kind of setup that they had that had a picture of the Alaskan Mickey in it. They had Minnie on day 1, and then they had Mickey on day 2 in that little life preserver, so we were able to get some pictures with that. We got one earlier in the day that was out on the deck, and we were able to get some pictures with it with the beautiful mountains behind us. And we were also able to get a couple of little magic shots out there with Mickey and Minnie, as well as with Kermit. And so those were really cute, but then getting to do it again in our formal attire in the atrium was really cool. And then we also just kind of went back to that same spot a little bit later. They didn't have the little life raft, but we were able to take some really nice, just sweet pictures there together where we were just kind of hugging and kissing on each other, and it was just very sweet. So we really enjoyed the photo ops that they had. And then last night we went to Animator's Palette for dinner, and that was probably not my choice for formal night. That was just where we ended up being assigned. To me, that's one of the more casual of the 3 dining experiences, but it actually ended up being really nice, and the food was amazing. It was all of our favorite meals so far on the cruise. It was so good. So we all ordered different things, and then we just kind of shared. I did order for my appetizer the little black truffle pasta. I think they're called like pursettes. They're like little purses with the truffle inside. I also ordered a potato and bacon soup. And so the appetizers that I got were really good. And I was the only one that ordered the black truffle pasta at first because I had heard before the trip that it was really good and highly recommended. And then once I got it and I tried it, it was so good. It was phenomenal. And so I shared a bite with everybody in my family, and my mom and my husband both really liked it, so we ordered a whole nother round of them for the table. But they were so delicious. That was definitely one of my favorites so far. So if you are on a Disney cruise and you have not tried that, I would highly recommend. But that was absolutely delicious. The soup was really good as well. It was nice and creamy and potatoey, very good. And then for our main courses, they had so many things on the menu that sounded good that we kind of ordered a few different things. My husband got the sirloin steak. My mom got the roasted chicken. My dad and I both ordered the pork chops individually. And then we also were recommended the tuna steak. And so I did decide to get one of those that we could all kind of nibble on and try. The tuna steak, unfortunately, was probably my least favorite thing. It was a little bit more kind of on the raw side than what I expected. It was not quite as fully cooked through. It kind of had some pinkness to it, but the flavor was good. It came with sort of a corn salsa and a little black bean kind of paste. It was pretty good and had a good flavor to it. And then the roasted chicken was really good. It was a little bit on the plain side. It was just kind of what it was. It was just roasted chicken, but it had a good flavor. The steak was really well cooked, but the pork chops were amazing. They had a nice little crust on them. They were so good. They were just cooked beautifully. Every single bite was so juicy, so tender, and it was just an amazing meal. It had a little sauce on the bottom of it that just brought it all together. It was absolutely delicious. And then for dessert, they had so many good looking desserts, so we definitely kind of got a little carried away with the desserts, but they had a cookies and cream sundae that was really good. They had key lime pie, so we got a couple of those for the table for us all to share, and it was delicious. I realized after a couple of bites it had a little kind of raspberry sort of jelly with it, and when I tried that, it made it even better. It was so good, so sweet with that slight tanginess to the key lime pie, and it just really made that dessert come together and come to life. And we also got a chocolate walnut kind of mousse that was really good. It was really rich. It kind of reminded me of Chick-fil-A brownies that have the chocolate and the walnut, but it was a little bit lighter, and I personally liked it a lot better than the Chick-fil-A brownies. And then they also had kind of an apple cinnamon rice pudding. So we got just a little bit of everything. Everything just sounded so good. And we were definitely not disappointed last night at dinner. It was such a delicious meal. So we really enjoyed that. And of course, being an animator's palette, getting to see all of the artwork come to life on the walls, and then getting to see Sorcerer Mickey come and to do his little dance around the room. It was just so cool and so special. And that was my husband's first time ever going to Animator's Palette. And he said, you know, I've really been enjoying this Disney cruise, but going into Animator's Palette and getting to hear that Fantasmic music and really getting to see Mickey dancing around the room, that really made this a Disney cruise to me. And that's really the first time since we've been on board that I just really said, this is Disney. And so the Animator's Palette is just such a good restaurant. It's just so nostalgic and really just kind of just touches your heart, and is just such a special place. So we really enjoyed getting to have dinner in there last night. We're actually going to be there again tonight for the Frozen menu, so we're looking forward to doing that again and kind of seeing what they do to sort of mix up the show. So after dinner, we continued to grab a couple more pictures. We just kind of explored the ship a little bit more. And then our show last night that we went to was the Golden Mickeys. That is a really popular show that they have on the Disney Cruise Line, and it was really cool. For some reason, that one's not very memorable to me between cruises. I've seen it a few times and I don't always remember the show, but getting to see it again last night, it is a really cool show. They are presenting the Golden Mickey Awards to different genres of Disney movies, and so they have throughout the show different clips of the different songs and just kind of musical numbers from a lot of Disney movies. So they had things like Tarzan, they had Cruella de Vil and her theme song, they had the Hunchback of Notre Dame, they had the Lion King. So they had a lot of different beautiful numbers that they came out and sang. The costumes, the lighting, the design, the sets, all of it was absolutely gorgeous, and we just really enjoyed that show a lot. And we just really had a great time getting to watch that. So that was absolutely wonderful, and just getting to really kind of experience our first show here on board. The first night, on Embarkation Night, they had the Sail Away party, and so we were out on the deck, and you know, that one's cute and it's fun, but it's definitely more geared towards kids, and it's just really kind of a big dance party, which is not necessarily our favorite thing or kind of our scene. Getting to actually go to the theater and getting to see a really good production and getting to see all the Disney characters and hear their songs and getting to really see all of it come together, that was so much more magical. And it was really nice just to be in the Walt Disney Theater and getting to actually see the very first show for our trip. And so we're really excited for the show that we got to see last night, and then we're also excited for all the other shows that we're going to get to see on the cruise through the rest of our trip. And so after dinner, that was when we hopped in, or after the show, that was when we hopped in line and went and saw Minnie Mouse in her beautiful white gown. Thankfully, we were able to kind of get out before the crowd too much, so we got right in line. We were pretty close to the front, and we're able to just get that picture with her pretty quickly when she came out. And then after we saw Minnie, my parents went to bed after the show, but Dylan and I went and saw Minnie. And then after that, we decided to stay up for just a little bit longer. We saw that they were having a kind of a match your mate game that was sort of like the Newlywed Game, and we attended that on our Royal Caribbean cruise, and we just thought that was a really fun, cute game and kind of game show. And so I was really excited to see that they had that on this ship, and wanted to see how it kind of compared to what we saw on Royal Caribbean and see if it was maybe a little bit more family friendly. And also we just really enjoyed that show and thought it was really cute and really fun to kind of see the different couples and kind of see how they interact with each other, interact with the host, and then also how they answer questions about their relationship. And so that was going to be over in the Azure Lounge, and so we decided to go ahead and pop over there, but it was a little bit early. The game show was not going to be starting for just a little while, and then we got there before the activity before that. And so it was definitely a little bit early, but the activity before was, I believe it was called Majority Mind. Dylan and I didn't really participate in that. We just kind of went and sat in there because we were waiting for the next activity. And we just kind of sat in there and watched. We didn't play the game. But on that one, they just gave everybody some little slips of paper. And then they would ask a just kind of random question. And everyone would have to write down their answers and then run them up to the front. And then the two ladies that were hosting the game would look through everyone's answer, and if there was a majority answer, then everybody would get a point for that. And then if there was a really unique answer, you would get a point for that. If it was not something that was in the majority, but they thought it was funny or clever, they would give you a point. And so a lot of people participated in that one. And it was just fun to just sit and watch and kind of people watch and hear the different responses and the different answers. So we enjoyed getting to do that. And then of course after that was over, they moved straight into the Match Your Mate game, and that was really why we were there. And so we really excited to get to see that. And so for that one, they choose the couple who has been married or together the shortest amount of time, which they ended up finding a couple who had been together for 6 months and then, or been married for 6 months. And then they found the couple who had been married for the longest, and I believe it was 42 or 43 years, somewhere in there, the couple that they ended up choosing. And then they choose somebody that, or a couple that's just kind of right in the middle. And so they had one couple that had been married for 8 years that decided to participate and was selected. And so it was just really fun just to kind of see the range from kind of newlywed to really seasoned married couples. And so we really just enjoy getting to experience that. And so they take all of the couples up onto the stage, and then they kind of introduce them. You learn their names, you learn a little bit about them, and then they end up taking, I believe they took first the men off of the stage and took them backstage into another area so they couldn't hear what was happening. And then while they were gone, they asked all of the women 3 questions, and they have to answer just about their relationship, about their partner, just different things about them. And so they went through those questions, asked them, and then all the women gave their answers, and they had somebody there that was working, that was helping the host to write all the answers down so they'd have them recorded. And then afterward, they brought all the men back up onto the stage and asked them all the same questions. And so they were trying to see if their answers matched. And for the most part, I thought they did a pretty good job. All the couples were able to kind of match up with each other pretty well. There were definitely a few things that they didn't know, and there were definitely some answers that were really kind of weird, obscure answers, and they actually would get it. One of the couples, the oldest couple, one of the questions was, what was the thing that your husband noticed first about you? And of course, most of them was her face, her eyes, her smile, those kinds of things. And then the oldest couple, or the couple who had been married the longest, they the husband said her occupation, that she was a bank teller, and so he would go up to her at the bank and do the drive-through. And it was funny because after just a little bit of kind of directing and trying to figure out if the wife would be able to get that answer, she actually did. So they were kind of a funny couple. They were very unique and very interesting, and they were definitely on the same page about a lot of things. So it was just funny to watch that game and just getting to hear all the answers. So like I said, they took all of the husbands off the stage, they asked the wives question, and then brought them back. And then after they had done the answers, and then they sent the other ones off the stage. They sent the women back. And so it was just a funny little game, and it was just funny just to hear all their answers and see how well they all knew each other, how well they all matched up. And it was definitely very similar to what we saw on the Royal Caribbean cruise that we went on. It was very much the same game. I believe the one that we saw on Royal Caribbean, they called it Love and Marriage, and this one was called the match your mate. So it was a different name, but definitely just the same concept for the game. So it was just really cute and really fun just to go and see that. It definitely puts you in the hot seat. They kind of ask a lot of questions that really kind of expose some things about your marriage. So it definitely takes some kind of brave or just some very open people to be able to participate in that. But Dylan and I like, when we go and watch it, getting to ask each other the questions just on our own. After the show, we came back to our cabin and we were just asking each other all the questions while they were fresh on our mind, and just seeing if all of our answers matched. And we felt like for the most part they did. We know each other pretty well. There were a couple of questions that we were saying, I don't know if I was up on the stage and somebody asked me that, I don't even know how I would answer. And the other one would kind of say, well, I think I would say this. So it was definitely one that I'm not sure exactly, when you're up on the stage and everybody's watching and you're not hearing each other's answers, it's probably pretty challenging to match up. So I think being able to actually match up on some or most of the questions really is a good testament to your relationship, and really is a pretty good sign of kind of how you're doing, where you are. So it's just such a cute game. It's just so much fun just to get to hear them and get to just really kind of see all the answers that they provide. So we really enjoyed doing that. Of course, by the time that we finished that, it was getting pretty late, and so we were definitely very tired and decided to come back to our cabin and just take showers and kind of wind down and get ready for bed. And so we did that, and just right before we went to sleep, there's a TV in our room, and we have realized that on the TV in here that all of your memory magic photo pass photos that you're able to get on the ship, they are connected to your stateroom and they're connected to your TV, so you're able to see your photos from your room, which I found it interesting. You're not really able to see your pictures on your phone, on your Navigator app, but you can see them on the TV in here, probably just because they don't want you to start saving pictures if you end up deciding to cancel your photo pass or anything like that. So it's cool to be able to see them in your room, so you don't have to go to the photo booths up in the photography area and look at them there. You can actually have somewhere to just kind of privately, just comfortably sit and look at them. So before we went to bed last night, we just kind of climbed in bed and had the remote, and we're just kind of flipping through some of our pictures from the day, which was just a really fun thing as you're kind of winding down and getting ready to go to sleep, to be able to just reminisce on the day and just kind of remember all the fun activities that you did. And of course, most of the time when you're kind of shuffling through the photo pass lines, you don't always get to see the photos that are taken, and so it's really cool to have an opportunity to get to see them and see how they turned out. So we really enjoyed getting to just kind of lay in bed last night and get to just kind of look at pictures, and we've just been really enjoying getting to do the photo pass. We're very grateful to be able to have gotten that, and just be able to have professional photos of us as well as us with my parents, since we're all on this trip together. Just getting to really be able to reminisce on the trip that we have. And so we've done a pretty good job so far, I think, of taking individual couple photos and then also group photos. So we're really trying to utilize and maximize the photo pass that we have. My parents did get the photo pass themselves, and then we got one also, because if you are adults in separate staterooms, you are not able to share one photo pass. So we ended up getting our own, so that we've got all the photos and all the memories from our trip that we can share with one another, and all the just things that we can take home with us as well. So we're just so grateful and so excited to be on this trip, to have beautiful photos from it, and really get to just have all of these fun experiences. So we are just kind of wrapping up for today. I am going to step off. I'm going to just kind of touch up a little bit on my makeup. I'm going to go ahead and add some jewelry, and then I'll be back in a moment. We'll just close out the video and get ready for Glacier Day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really enjoyed sharing all about our day at sea and our formal night here on the Disney Wonder, and I would love to hear from you in the comments below all about your experiences with your sea days, especially on Disney cruises, all the different activities that you've gotten to do, and then I would love to hear about your formal nights too. We definitely saw a mixture yesterday. People dressed really formally and really nice, and just kind of calling back to just sort of that golden age of cruising, and where everything was just so beautiful and just so shiny, and really everyone was just so elegant. And that is definitely one of my favorite things, is getting to just dress up for formal nights. And I'd love to hear from you. Is that something that you'd like to participate in, or maybe something that you just don't really care too much about? I would just love to hear all of your cruising stories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps out my channel when you do. And if you would like to see more of this Disney Wonder Alaskan Cruise Chatty Get Ready With Me series, I would love for you to hang out with us in the future. So definitely please hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell, so you'll be notified when the next day of our cruise comes up. And that's going to be Glacier Day, the day that we're going into today. So I'm really excited to be all ready for it, and we're really looking for what's next. And so we are actually about to head to Cabanas. We're looking for the first time on our cruise when they are having the churro Mickey waffles, and hoping that we can get some. I'd love to share all about those experiences with you. Until next time, let's be kind to each other, beautiful to ourselves, and never afraid to make up the rules.